Hey kids, Miss Lisa here. I hope you're enjoying all the stories about Joseph. We're going to do another one today. This will be our final story about Joseph today, and we'll wrap it up. Remember, I told you at the beginning it was kind of sad, but today we've got the happy ending to finish it all up. First, though, we're going to practice our last memory verse, okay? So we learned a new part of the verse last week, and we're going to practice it today. Say it a couple times just to give you some opportunity to say it. Ready? So it was about the town of David, remember? So here it goes. I'll say it once for you, then you say it with me. Today, in the town of David, a Savior has been born to you. He's the Messiah, the Lord. Ready? Let's do it again. Ready? Today, in the town of David, a Savior has been born to you. He's the Messiah, the Lord. Ready? One more time. Ready? Today, in the town of David, a Savior has been born to you. He's the Messiah, the Lord. Good. Good job. Keep practicing that one. We're going to put it all together next time we go do another memory verse, but just keep practicing that one for this week, okay? And then we'll put it together. All right, so let's talk about what's happened to Joseph. Joseph's had a crazy life, right? If you put Joseph's whole life into a movie, it would be like a crazy blockbuster action-packed movie film, right? First, he was his dad's favorite, remember? And so his dad gave him that beautiful coat of all different colors to show him that he was his favorite. That didn't make his brothers very happy, did it? They were so jealous. They were so jealous that they attacked him and they threw him in a pit. And then they were gonna kill him, but Reuben said, let's not kill him. Let's not kill him. Instead, the travelers that came along, they sold him as a slave to the travelers. The travelers took him to Egypt. And in Egypt, he started working for Potiphar. Now, some not so good things happened that really weren't any of Joseph's faults, right? He was accused by Potiphar's wife of doing things that he didn't do. And then Potiphar threw him in the prison for that without even asking, is this really what happened? But nope, just threw him right in the prison. While he was in the prison, though, he met the cupbearer and the baker for Pharaoh. They were also in prison. And the cupbearer and the baker had those crazy dreams, right? And they couldn't figure out what the dreams meant. So they asked Joseph, and Joseph interpreted their dreams. He told the cupbearer that his dream meant he was going to be reinstated to his job in Pharaoh's court in 3 days. But the baker, his dream meant that he was going to be killed. And both of those things happened. Joseph was right. So he told the cupbearer, when you get back to Pharaoh's court, remember me. Tell him that I've been wrongly accused. Did the cupbearer do that? Nope. Well, not at first. Later, when Pharaoh was having dreams that he could not figure out what they meant, the cupbearer remembered Joseph. He said, wait a minute, Pharaoh. I know someone that can interpret your dreams. And so they brought Joseph out of the prison, and the Pharaoh told him his dreams. Do you remember his crazy dreams? He had 2 dreams. One was that there were 7 fat cows and 7 skinny cows. And the 7 skinny cows ate up the 7 fat cows. Crazy dream. And the other one was that there was a plant that had 7 ears of corn, big fat ears of corn. And then there was a plant that was really wilted and looked like it was going to die. And it ate up the plant with the 7 fat ears of corn. Who dreams these crazy dreams? I usually just dream that I'm, late for a test I'm supposed to take. But that's what he dreamed. So Joseph said, I know what your dream means, Pharaoh. It means that Egypt is going to have 7 years of plenty, all kinds of big harvests and all sorts of food for everyone. But after that, there will be 7 years of famine. Famine means there won't be any food for anyone. Nothing will grow, and it'll just be hot and dry. So Pharaoh said, okay, well, now that I know what this means, what should I do? And Joseph said, well, you should put somebody in charge of saving up food while we're having the 7 good years so that we can live through the 7 bad years. And Pharaoh said, ding, I know who that should be. You, Joseph. So Joseph was put into that position of power in Pharaoh's court after all the crazy stuff that happened to him. That's where he ended up as the second most powerful man in Egypt. Well, today we're going to talk again about Joseph's original family. Remember those brothers that weren't so very nice to him? There are some things that are going to happen here, and you'll see it all has a very happy ending. But I want to tell you what this story is really about. It's about forgiveness. What does it mean to forgive somebody? Well, usually when someone comes and says, I'm sorry, you say, okay, I forgive you. But what does that really mean? Sometimes people say, I forgive you, and they really don't mean it. When somebody says they're sorry and they apologize for something bad that they've done to you, when you forgive them, that means you forget all the bad stuff they did and you love them just the same. Forgiveness is hard, right? Sometimes people have done things to me that have been really, really bad, and it's hard for me to just forget it and love them like I used to. Forgiveness can be difficult. So we're going to see today how God can help us with our forgiveness for people who have done bad things. Now, we already know that we have a character who's had some bad things done to him, right? And it looks like he's going to run into the people who did those bad things again. Let me see if I can figure out a way to show you whether or not he forgave them. The 7 years of famine had come, and Pharaoh had put Joseph in a place of honor and power. Joseph was in charge of giving out the food they had saved up during the 7 years of plenty. Now Jacob and Joseph's brothers didn't have any food left. Hey, sons, Judah, Benjamin, listen, we don't have any food left. Look, it's empty, nothing. I don't have any grain to grow. So here's what I need you to do. I need you to go to Egypt because I hear that they have food there. And I'm going to give you some money and you can buy grain for us, okay? But here's the thing, Judah, are you listening? You can't take little Benjamin. I would be so devastated if something happened to little Benjamin, all right? So I want you and the other brothers to go and buy the grain and bring it back, okay? So the brothers took their sacks of money and traveled to Egypt to buy grain. When the brothers got to Egypt, they didn't recognize Joseph, but Joseph recognized them. He wanted to test them to see if they had changed the way they treat people. So he asked them about the rest of their family. They told Joseph that they had a father at home and a younger brother. So Joseph said he would give them grain, but they must return and bring their younger brother with them. When they got back, they saw the money they were supposed to use to pay for the grain was back in their sacks. Joseph had put the money back in their sacks. So they returned to Egypt with Benjamin as Joseph had instructed. And when Joseph saw his little brother, he was overjoyed. And Joseph had his servants prepare for them a great feast. So Joseph again gave them grain and filled their sacks. But he also had his servant put his silver cup in Benjamin's sack. After the brothers were halfway home, Joseph sent his servant after them.
Who stole my master's cup? Aha! Now I'll have to take you back to my master to be punished.
When the brothers were brought back before Joseph, they were terrified. But Joseph said to them, "Your little brother has stolen my cup, and he must be punished." But Judah said, "Punish me instead. My father would be devastated to lose his son Benjamin, so take me and let Benjamin go." And when Joseph saw that his brothers had changed and were treating Benjamin kindly, he revealed himself and told them who he was.
Sorry.
When the brothers were brought back to Egypt, they were terrified, afraid that Joseph would harm them for what they did to him so many years ago. But Joseph forgave them. And then they all celebrated together. And the brothers went back and got Jacob and brought him back to Egypt. My son, who I love so much. I'm so glad to see you. Oh, we can all be a family together again. That's some crazy ending to that story, isn't it? I think it's just amazing that Joseph was able to forgive his brothers the way he did. So there's a couple questions that I have about this story that maybe you have too. So let's talk it out. Ready? So when the brothers first went to Egypt, they didn't recognize Joseph. That seems weird, right? I mean, he was their brother. How did they not recognize him? Well, you have to remember that almost 20 years passed between the time the brothers sold Joseph into slavery and the time that they came to him in Egypt looking for food. So when they sold him, he was pretty young, Joseph. And so in 20 years, he had kind of grown and changed a lot. So it would have been hard for the brothers to recognize him. Not to mention, they certainly weren't expecting to find him in Egypt as the second most powerful man there, right? So they didn't expect it. And he had his Egyptian robes on and everything. So that's why they didn't recognize him. I know that seems strange because you think you would probably recognize your brother no matter where he went. But that's why. Second of all, why did Joseph do those strange things? Like putting the money back in the bag and then putting the silver cup in the bag so that basically that it would scare the brothers and bring them back. It seems like a lot of crazy stuff that he did there. Well, I think because Joseph was trying to figure out exactly what his brothers had done over the years. First, he wanted to make sure that Benjamin was okay. Remember, Benjamin was the younger brother of Joseph. Joseph wasn't the youngest. There was one more Benjamin. So you think that Benjamin and Joseph were pretty close. They were close brothers. So Joseph definitely wanted to see Benjamin, and he wanted the brothers to bring him back. Second, I think Joseph wanted to test the brothers and see if they were treating Benjamin nice or if they had changed the way they treated people. They were so mean to him when he was with the family, and he wanted to see if they changed. When Judah said, "Don't take Benjamin, take me instead," that's when Joseph knew right away that the brothers had had a change of heart and they were being nice people now. That was very important to Joseph. He really wanted to figure out what kind of people they were. So that's one of the reasons why he did some of those strange things. So let me ask you, do you think it was easy or hard for Joseph to forgive his brothers? I think it was hard. I think it was hard. They had done some really bad things to him. They hurt him. They sold him away from his family so that he couldn't see his dad all those years, and he had become a slave and he was put in prison. All of that happened because of his brothers. It's kind of hard to imagine how much work it took for Joseph to forgive his brothers for that. But you know why Joseph was able to do that? God helped him. I think that Joseph prayed to God and said, please help me really forgive my brothers. Not just say it, not just be like, okay, I forgive you, but really, really forgive them and love them like my own brothers. And if we ask God to help us forgive people, He does. He does. So if you have a situation where somebody's been mean to you, and we all have those, even adults, it's not just kids, even adults have times where other people are mean to them. You can pray and ask God to help you forgive them, to make you happy to see them when maybe before you weren't. It's hard. Forgiveness is one of the hardest things, I think, one of the hardest things to do. But that's why we can ask God to help us, because He can help us do anything. Okay, that's all of our stories for Joseph. We've wrapped up Joseph now, and we're going to do some different stuff next week. So keep practicing your memory verse. You can keep playing the review game. I gave your parents or your grandparents a link to play the review game online if you want to do that. And I'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye.